all beef patty, special sauce for the cheese, pickles, onions on a special cheese.
Now, I said Kentucky Fried Chicken. There's only one way to cook a term, that is Kentucky Fried Chicken, and that's
I sit alone in my four-cornered room staring at candles. Oh, that shit is on? Let me drop some shit like this here. Real.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are back, everyone. As usual, I am Mick Whoopi Goldberg, and this is the Bottom of the Pit podcast, where we look to the moon and swap our palettes. Today, I have with me, once again, please introduce yourself.
I am the Nightmare, Pecan Swirl.
He is Pecan Swirl, everyone.
Pecan Swirl.
And we actually moved locations for this episode. Just for reasons. We are in a different area, so if things sound different, better, worse, that's the reason why. Yes. Please deal with it. And be patient with us, please.
Please be patient with us.
But we have today a topic that is kind of close to both myself and Pecan.
Yes,
as far as games go, it's kind of a game we both grew up with, and I don't know about you, you're a little bit older than I am, but I grew up watching my dad and all my uncles. They used to get around the house all the time and used to play it. Yes. And this is the Tekken series. Obviously, being a fighting game podcast, we have brought up Tekken several times.
Yes.
But bringing up that, what I just brought up, my dad and all his uncles used to get together, it's really funny because they're a lot older now. My dad just had like his 51st birthday today, I think.
And he looks good.
Yeah.
Your dad looks good.
Yes, cool. Happy birthday, Dad. Today's recording, it is his birthday.
Oh, snap.
But he's the youngest sibling, so all of his brothers are older than him. I know one of them's pushing 60. But watching them play Tekken back then, when I was a little kid.
Right.
Yeah, I was a real little kid. I was watching them play. It was either Tekken 1 or Tekken 2. I don't remember, but they were really, really good at it.
Probably was Tekken 2. Because I think Tekken 1 mainly stayed, for most part, in arcades, I think.
We had it on PlayStation.
Did
the first one, yeah.
Oh, I was stuck then because I was going to arcades most of the time.
Oh, well, you're like an arcade. You're an arcade baby.
I was. I didn't have console. I was such a loner.
But it was interesting because that was I watched them play and they were really good. And but nowadays they don't really know their way around systems, like consoles, fighting games. So I don't know. I guess something about Tekken really resonated with them back then. I don't know what your history is.
I think
with Tekken.
for the most part, for me, my history with Tekken was actually I saw Virtua Fighters.
Oh, Virtua Fighter.
I saw Virtua Fighters and I was like, oh, okay. It was a knockoff of Tekken. And literally, I was like, I'm going to choose Tekken.
Okay.
I honestly decided to choose Tekken over Virtua Fighters. And Virtua Fighter had a freaking ninja in there. And I was like, freak, this is going against my nature. But no, really, for me, for most part, it was, nobody really brought me on to Tekken. I went to the arcades, or the corner store at the time. I went to the corner store, and they had it there. And I was just like, oh, this looks interesting. So I was like, okay, cool. Let me, get my quarters and, go in there and play a little bit. And ever since then, I was hooked to it. I was just like, I'm losing mad money on that joint. Mad money. Facing people that's way better than me. God darn. Picking law, getting on my goddamn nerve with that run.
well, in that game, but then again, I was really young, as I said. But whenever I had the chance to play, Law was the easiest character.
Law was the easiest
because he had the triple kick, obviously the double flip kick. Mm-hmm. Those are the only moves. If I could figure those moves out, your character's easy. That was simple.
That was pretty much the case. Law to me was. He was the equivalent to... What's that girl's name from Blaze Blue?
Noelle?
Noelle. He's the equivalent to Noelle. Because literally, like you said, all people did was pick him and do the double flip kick.
Yeah.
Double flip kick. Low kick, double flip kick. And then, oh god, it got on my nerves. Freaking hated Law. I hated Law back then. Oh, I hate him still, but I genuinely hated him back then.
Back then, well, because the roster was a lot smaller, and they've introduced even easier characters since then.
Yes.
I can't say Law is like super hard to use now because he's still relatively easy, but he's not like Eddie dumb.
No,
he's not like Katarina dumb.
No, he's not like what's her name?
Which one?
The Asuka's rival.
Oh, Asuka's rival? Oh, Lily.
Lily. I was about to say somebody's name, but Lily. Oh, she was a cancer in 6. She was a cancer.
Yeah,
in 6.
even worse in tag 2.
Oh yes,
even worse because she was stupid easy and she was doing damage that she had no right to be doing
at all, in any way, shape, or form. And that to me, and her that sweep was God tier broke.
Oh yeah,
God tier broke.
Something about it, and this kind of goes with the Snake Edge too. Brian's Snake Edge. Despite it having like quite a considerable amount of wind up to it, somehow it still sneaks into your defenses.
Is it? I thought it was just me.
No, it gets me too.
I honestly thought it was just me.
I don't know if because she gets low so fast that it takes a while for it to process, but it gets me too.
I don't know, but I do see that. You're right, very much in that category. Like I see when they do that sweep. It's like, oh, okay, my mind is registering block low.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, yeah, the leg is already at your foot. Like, it is like...
There's something about it. I'm not sure, I can't really give too much detail on how or what it is. I'm sure it's on a player-to-player basis. And I'm sure, like, professional Lily players aren't throwing that move out willy-nilly. No,
you're right. They're not. They're actually... Which is pretty cool. I actually like to see professional Lily players because it is kind of, they do show you a little bit more to the character. Granted, I will say this: they all definitely have their super duper safe moves.
Yeah,
and it's the same safe move that you see time and time and time again, which is, forgot some of the moves, but they got their safe moves.
Well, that goes pretty much with almost every character. Every character in the game has a couple moves that you can throw out there to kind of start conditioning your opponent, maybe space right. But I think characters like strange characters like say Lily or Xiaoyu, and especially like Eddie and Christy, some of their like properties of their moves, if you do like manage to counter hit them, it leaves them in such a way, in such a like a stance or a position where it's hard for you to continue your combo.
Yeah,
and that's kind of like the characters I don't like, but it's kind of universally disliked.
Yeah, no, you're right. One of them is you definitely when you face Eddie or Christie, the handstand.
Yeah.
The most unfair advantage because it's like, oh, you're open. Let me hit you with this. Let me hit you with this this mid kick or whatever the case is. And they drop straight to the floor. Yeah,
and they just kind of fall, or they don't go as high as they normally would.
And it's just like, wait, time out. That should push them up because they should view that or count that as a standing. At least that's for me.
Yeah, it's a hand stand.
Yeah, it's a hand stand. And so, and you got Zayu, who is in a Phoenix stance when she's like completely close, like crouched to the ground.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, what the heck? How do you sit there and kind of combat against that to turn it into something more? Unless you have somebody else who is also like another Zayu, who is going to sit there and play the same exact style. You have people who are really good, or characters who are fantastic, or somehow still picking you off the ground too. So I've seen that come back very heavy.
Well, the game Tekken's notoriously like complicated. Yeah. It's a complicated game.
Very much.
It's funny that you brought up Virtual Fighter earlier, because Virtual Fighter did actually come out before Tekken.
Right.
It's like the first 3D game, but I'm in the same boat as you. I never ever enjoyed playing Virtual Fighter. I thought it was. I know Tekken 1 isn't fantastic, but I always thought Virtual Fighter was very stiff, a little shallow, a little plain. I didn't like it. I thought the characters were boring. They're more traditional. They're like your traditional martial arts.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Obviously, there's a big fan base for Virtua Fighter. It's kind of taken a dip lately.
I'm saying that big.
But when you first entered like the arcade and you saw Tekken, I don't know if you can remember this far back, and you first saw Tekken, you put your quarters in. Did you immediately gravitate towards King? Like in that moment, in that very first moment, was it King, or did you? Because everyone's like first character they use isn't always the character they end up using anyway.
Nah, the actual first character that I actually, believe it or not, that I gravitated to was Yoshimitsu. Yoshimitsu, because he had a sword. And I was like, I'm going to be cheesy as crap with this
He
thing.
brought a sword to a fist fight.
Yes, because, and the thing is that I remember the first time I did the stab. I actually remember the first time I did the stab. Because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I know I pressed back.
Back right punch, I think.
And I think it was back right punch. And I was like, and I didn't know that I pressed it. And then all of a sudden I was like, I just see him just wind up and just like, BAM! And just hit the dude. And I was facing somebody. And I don't think he really seen Yoshimitsu players.
Right.
So he didn't know what the heck, so he just started backing up, to block. Yes, you had to back up during that time to block.
There was no sidestep.
There was no sidestepping. So he backed up and like it got him. And all you saw was his life. Boom.
Yeah, it's a big hit.
It actually during that time it was an instant death.
I wouldn't be surprised. There was a lot of like weird janky stuff, like properties back in the old Tekken games.
There were so many. Paul's what? Phoenix Punch?
Which one?
The one when he just like
Oh, I think it's either like Death Fist or something. Or is Death Fist? I don't know. I don't really know. Oh, Burning Fist or something.
Was it Burning
Fist?
No,
Burning Fist is this charge up, I think. And I think it might just be Death Puncher.
Oh, okay.
It's like where he, the one where he yells and like hits you like super fast and kills you instantly. Pretty much.
But I think on that joint, on that one, he charged it.
Yeah, well, he still has that move.
Yeah,
where he can charge it, or
it.
he can do the big one. You don't see the charge that often.
But it doesn't kill you now.
No.
It takes a good majority of your life.
Oh yeah, for a move that fast.
But Tekken 1, Tekken 2, he was like, yeah, bow, instant death. And I was like, wow. And I think only 3 to 4 characters only had like instant deaths in that game, if I'm not mistaken. Yoshi, Paul, I know Law was one, and I'm debating between Jin, not Jin, Kazuya.
He might have his lightning screw uppercut might have been one. Might have been. I'm not sure. I don't have that much experience with Tekken 1 to be honest.
Jax.
Oh yeah, his
Jax
something hammer, dark hammer or
the
something.
One,
the wind up punch. That's right, the wind up punch. I forgot about that. He still has that.
He still has it.
You had to charge it up all the way to get the one hit punch.
Yeah. And it's like 1, 2. Yo, you get hit by that, just drop this joystick.
Yeah, because
go somewhere.
I mean, I would imagine in Tekken 1, it's a little easier to like catch someone with it because there's no side steps.
Right.
But nowadays, if someone hits you with like the wind up punch, you kind of deserve to get hit with the wind up punch.
Facts.
Especially if he's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
and
then he cracks you for one hit.
Like
it's like you let him charge. It took him 5 whole seconds to get that move out, and you still got hit by it. Yeah,
it was counting out loud.
You didn't have to use your brain for it. Literally now instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he hits you with it.
I was like, did I? Yes, you did. Get off, uninstall Tekken, burn every Tekken. If you say that you like Tekken, you need to actually erase that memory in your head and just act like you like Virtua Fighters. So.
Yeah, well, the one-hit KO moves, they're still around. There's some characters that have them. Yoshimitsu still has one. It takes a long time to come out. He's got to charge up a big slice.
But is the poke still a one-hit kill?
No.
Because I'm about to say the one that you do usually is the suicide.
Yeah, that does a lot of damage, but it's not a one-hit kill. See, with that one, what it is, right?
Oh, that's true.
Is I'll stab myself, right? And if I hit you with it, let's rewind. I haven't done this in a long time. I've hit this exactly one time in my life. So just the last 10 seconds, just ignore that. I can stab myself, right? I stab myself, and if I hit you, you take the damage, and I take the damage.
Right.
But I can stab myself, right? Boom, and if I miss, I can do it one more time in a row, and if that second one hits you, that's a one-hit kill. But if I miss, I die.
So it's straight. Yoshi is straight up a gamble.
Yeah, always.
He's always been a gamble, and I think how long has he had that move?
He's had that move for a long time.
Yeah, wasn't
That's
it?
like a
That was-
long.
that was
long
back in
time.
2, right?
Yeah. I knew about the suicide in 2. I'm not sure if he had it in 1. Like I said, I was way too young to truly explore
I don't think
anyone.
he had it in 1. He probably might have because I still was relatively young in 1.
Okay.
But I think he did have it in 1. But I think as much as I give respect to a lot of Yoshi players because a lot of his moves. Because I was trying to pick up Yoshi for a little bit, and I just did like the little spinning thing, which I know I should have done. And it was so weird because I was like playing somebody. I was playing like some other kid, and I was just spinning and spinning and spinning, and I didn't realize that my life was going down.
Oh, when he was going around that spin. Okay.
So I was like, why is my life going down doing this? So I just never did it again. But it was just like, I was like, this is so weird. He has a lot of moves that like hurts him really bad.
Yeah, he's a gamble. He's a tricky character, which is why I liked him.
You're good with him.
But the reason why I picked up Yoshimitsu, and I might have told this story before, when I played Tekken 1, and I can't stress it enough, I was so young that I couldn't read.
What's that?
That is how young I was when Tekken 1 came out.
My name was like, colors. Yeah.
I was so young that I couldn't read. And the thing was, I don't remember if it was the versus mode or the arcade mode, or when you chose your characters, it was just names lined up. The names were lined up. It wasn't like pictures. The names were lined up.
Oh.
Right? So the names like were down, and I would always be able to pick. I wouldn't be able to pick any character consistently because I couldn't read.
Yeah.
But Yoshimitsu's name was so long that I could consistently pick Yoshimitsu.
Because it was the longest.
Yeah, it was the longest name, and I knew I could get this character if I picked this thing.
It's such a funny story.
And the rest is history after that.
That's cool. That's cool. It's man, Tekken. Man, just sit back and not thinking about it. Tekken, to me, something I always thought about too was like Tekken's music was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, for the first couple of games. Well, actually, all the way up in my opinion until like 6, I'd say. 5 or 6, I think, is when it's like the
5 still had it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
6 was completely gone.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of like the music in 6. There's some good songs. Don't get me wrong. I like the Cemetery theme. I like that one a lot.
Cemetery, wasn't that like it's just basically a rehash of the Cemetery from off of 5?
I wouldn't say a rehash, but it was very similar in like style.
Yeah, so that's what I can't even give it that because it's just a remake.
Kind of like a reimagining
of the Cemetery on 5. So it was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, have certain similarities. I have majority similarities, and it was working pretty well with that.
But you're right. The music, especially in like 2 and 3, forget about it. Like that's like one of the best soundtracks in
2 and 3
in fighting games. It's
2
either
and
2 or 3. I mean, I remember both of them very vividly. Both of them. Which game do you think takes it, 2 or 3 as far as music goes?
Oh, don't do that to me.
I'm doing it to you right now.
Don't do that
I'm doing it to
me.
you right now, like right now.
Oh gosh. I gotta give it the 3.
The 3.
I gotta give it the 3 because I was literally blasting 3. What's today? Saturday. I was blasting 3 Friday. I was driving. I was working, and I was just going to like the game used Tekken's original soundtrack.
Yeah.
I went to Tekken 1, which I think it's the most slept on soundtrack.
You think so? I haven't listened to the Tekken 1 soundtrack enough.
Listen to it. Tekken 1 soundtrack is a very slept on soundtrack. Tekken 2, great soundtrack. I loved it. But Tekken 3, when they came up, and it's so weird, I knew exactly when King's track came on.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, there we go. 4 had a very melodic sound to it.
Got you.
And it was so smooth. It was smooth like butter. But it wasn't like as hard hitting as 3 and 2 bar. It was just more so like smooth surface, like what is it called? Snares and drum.
Okay.
Like very snares and drum and jazz like.
That's what I was supposed to say. Kind of jazzy a little.
Yeah.
A little bit. Obviously, I think most people, when it comes to like Tekken 3's music, the first track they go to is like Eddie Gordo's soundtrack. Like that's like the first thing that sticks out. And then there's Kings, he's really cool. Jin's, everyone cool. Everyone's pretty cool.
You know who had a good one, and I think people don't respect it enough, is Ogre.
Ogre? Oh yeah,
True
for
Ogre
sure.
and Ogre, bruh.
Well, it's the really cool thing about both Ogre and True Ogre's theme is that it doesn't like hit hard. It's not like a hard hitting one because that's not like you're not fighting an epic battle, right? Like this is like the god of fighting that you're fighting.
So gee.
Yeah, and it's more somber.
I want to play it.
Like you're kind of like because you're like saving the fighting community in that world, like the fighting world, because it's a god of fighting. He's not like going after for world domination. He's trying to kill all the fighters and absorb them. And then maybe he goes for world domination. I'm not sure. Tekken's story's been a little weird.
Yeah, I don't. The world domination thing. I think people need to get away from that. It's tiresome now.
Yeah, I mean. Anyway, yeah, I'm with you. The like the Ogre theme.
Yes.
Is one of the best, and the way they remixed it for Street Fighter X Tekken, I think, was amazing. I'm not sure if you want to even think about that game, but that track in itself was amazing.
That made my whole entire throat bleed. Oh god, that game pissed me off.
But for anyone listening, go check out Tekken 2 and Tekken 3's soundtrack. You won't be disappointed, especially if you're a fighting game fan.
And especially and like I said, don't sleep on Tekken 1. Give Tekken 1 a listen. It's a very, very, very slept on soundtrack, but it is a very awesome soundtrack. 1, 2, and 3 of Tekken. Listen to them. If you're not doing much, or you're doing something and you just want to have a good chill, zone out music vibe, those are the 3 soundtracks you can play.
I got you. And to move away from the music for a second, Tekken 3, right? Tekken 3 in general, like just by itself, is always considered always considered. Let me catch my words real quick. I don't want to incriminate myself. Tekken 3 is always debated to be one of the greatest fighting games ever made. How do you feel about that? Tekken 3.
Tekken 3. One of the greatest...
One of the greatest fighting games ever made.
Okay, now one of, yeah.
I mean, obviously there's, there's Street Fighter 2,
And we go into the one
like
of.
The one
yes, I will put it up there. I will put it literally up there as one of the greatest because the transformation from 2 to 3 was a very smooth transition or transformation. The movement, the characters, the in-depth storytelling that he had, once again, soundtrack, the involvement that you have with characters in that game was something that was very, very, very amazing. And I think for a lot of people, that's when it had a pretty good roster too. The roster was nice.
Yeah, it's like one of the few games we talked about. The quote unquote like the old rule of third.
Yeah. And
we determined that it had the best roster out of the whole like flipping of the roster system that those games used to do.
Yeah, I mean, and that's something that I think is I like that everybody's doing now. Like they're figuring out how to do it. Like, which is why I was kind of frustrated with like Tekken 4. Okay. Such a setback.
Yeah, they kind of cut the roster down. They took out some fan favorite characters.
Yeah, some key players. Some very, very, very key players. But one of the greatest fighters, yes. Tekken 3, I'm never going to debate it.
Right, but you wouldn't put it as number 1.
No. But God. Woo! Number 1, that game, that, believe it or not, that's for another time.
Yeah, that's for another conversation.
For another time.
But I just wanted to bring that up to you, that Tekken 3 is held in a very, very high regards in the FGC.
Yeah, who wouldn't really, if you've been doing this for a long time, playing fighting games, going to competition and all that stuff, let's just stick to playing fighting games, just in general, and you play Tekken 1, you liked it, you play Tekken 2, you liked it even more, you play Tekken 3, you all of a sudden became better, and I don't know what it was, but you all of a sudden became better. I grew tremendously with King in Tekken 3. Like, it wasn't like I learned how to do certain things. One of my favorite movies that I just knew how to time perfectly, the boomerang kick.
Oh shit, that fucking move.
At that time, it was broke. It was the definition of broke.
Got you.
Because it was like it wasn't a one-hit kill,
Like
but it was a 98-hit kill. It was a 98 hit.
Jesus Christ.
And it took life. It was stupid. And then I think they did something to it, like in the arcade it was a 98 hit. Then it went to the console. It switched it to 50 hit. 50%.
Okay. So the console version is, it's also console like balance.
Yeah. So when they brought it to console, I realized that it didn't have the same power. I mean, it had power because it took 50% of your life.
Right.
2 of those things she was done. Period. No questions asked. So, and like, the movement, like I said, for me, the movement to me in Tekken from 2 to 3 was like probably like the most greatest thing ever. Because that movement is everything.
Right. It just felt tighter.
Like
they finally found their footing.
Yeah, they did. It was so good. I mean, like, I can like, along with people that I know, we can sit here, we can have this discussion about Tekken 3 for hours, days if we really want to get funky with it.
Oh my
god! Because we're, and I know that this is like how things are now. Mm-hmm. We got to push it back a little bit, but during that time and just having like even if we had like a room of people in here talking about Tekken,
yeah,
guarantee you this podcast would never end. Like,
no, we would have hours upon hours, and maybe sometime in the we'll have just a bonanza of just 5-6 people in here talking about their experiences with this game. Because I think everyone's experience was kind of a little different because they introduced so many new aspects that everyone had something they could latch onto and enjoy.
Yeah, man. Goodness gracious.
But we're sitting here, we're showering Tekken 3 with all this praise. Obviously, it deserves it. It deserves every bit of praise. But I want to ask your opinion on the current state of Tekken. Tekken 7 as it stands and the history, kind of up to Tekken 7. Right. How do you feel about where it's at now?
To be honest with you, highly disappointed.
Disappointed with Tekken 7?
Highly disappointed. Granted, once again, big shout out to Little Majin, but highly disappointed at where Tekken is at. I don't like it. I'm very sick of the copy and paste of how the way every other game is now doing the whole specials. Certain moves have armor. I'm getting tired of that, and it's sickening to me actually, because it's like there was nothing wrong with Tekken 6.
Right.
Nothing wrong with Tekken 6. Oh, people, I mean, like the bound. Okay, so now we got something worse.
Right. It's kind of the I'm not sure what they call it, the spin out or the screw. I don't know what it's called.
I don't know what it's called.
But the bound and the screw, when they go flying in the screw, they're kind of essentially the same thing. It's just the bound system. It's just attached to a different move.
Yeah, and that's the case. Now that you ask me that, same question back to you. How do you feel? How do you feel about the state of Tekken?
As far as the state of Tekken, I don't mind the gameplay. Right, the gameplay, the system, I think that's fine. I don't mind the screw, because I don't mind changing. I like when games change, they do things. Mortal Kombat does it all the time.
Right.
No game's the same, so I can appreciate a change in the system. But like you, I don't like some of the armored moves. Mm-hmm. I definitely don't like the rage arts.
Oh God.
And so I can appreciate the rage drives. You use all your rage to do one big move,
right.
Not like the rage art, but the big move. King's got the big smash that bounces you 400 feet in the air.
Right.
I think. I can appreciate that. I think that's where it should have been. Right?
Yeah.
I think that it should have been, our new system, are you wondering what it is? The rage drive. Spend all of your rage to do this hit that launches, or do this hit that wall bounces, or do this hit that just splats you for big damage. Or something like that.
Or keeps you in a stun state for a while.
Yeah, or something like that. But I don't like just like you, I don't like the armor. I hate the armored moves. I get it, you can crush them with lows, but some people, they can counter your move with an armored move, and I don't like armor in general in fighting games. I don't like armor.
I agree.
Unless it's like it's character dependent for me. If your character is
like Gigas.
Like if he's got a move that has armor, okay, he's like 8 foot tall. He's not 100 pounds of pure muscle. Okay, give him a move that has armor.
That makes sense.
I don't like being like crushed by a super armored move from Xiaoyu's hip. You know what I mean? I don't like that. When I'm playing, like if I'm playing this, like Panda,
is so true.
like a 500, like 1,000 pound Panda is getting like armor crushed
by a freaking little 12-year-old,
like 130 pound little Asian woman. Like it's just weird to me.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, you know what I mean?
You're right.
I don't like universal armor moves. I guess it's where I'm getting at.
I don't, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and they, you know, the thing is that we see eye to eye on that. You know, like I said, for me, like, in general, like Tekken 7 is very disappointing to me, and I know it's probably the most unpopular opinion when it comes down to it, because it's like it does have a following. It has a strong following.
It's actually the most popular Tekken game since like 3, I'd say. And everyone loves Tekken 7.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, and the reason why, and I can see the reason why. It's such a great game for casuals.
Yeah, it's great for casuals.
It's such a great game for professionals, like pros. So it's a great balance between the two. For me though, specifically, I don't like the feel of it. I don't. Like you know, you came over and you was like, hey, you know, I showed you Tekken 6, and I was like, yo, the movement felt different. It felt like a lot tighter, not like stiff.
Right.
Tighter. Like my commands came in. My moves came in, everything that I was doing came in. And it was flawless to a great T. And one of the things that we talked about before was the grabbing system.
Yeah, it's a little bit more simplified.
Oh my gosh, the grabbing system is the thing that pisses me off, especially if you're a King player. To be able to sit here and say, because I had some dude like before. Unfortunately, before I gave my Tekken away, I had somebody sit here and talk mad big. Was like, oh, you a king, man, blah blah blah. I was like, oh, watch out, you ain't getting none of your grabs off. And I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, this man talking crazy.
Right, because you're a fantastic king and you consistently get your grabs off.
Well, thank you for that, but that was the thing, and like you said, I'm gonna get my grabs on with you, bro. You talking crazy like that? All right, I'm gonna make sure to get my grabs off as much as possible. Every grab I got on, broke out of it.
Damn,
broke out of it.
That's a tragedy.
Broke out of it, and I just sat there and granted, I still beat him.
Right, but not in the way that you were trying to like kind of prove a point.
Yeah, I was like,
get my grabs off on you.
Yeah, and because it was like he was just like, oh, I told you we're gonna get your grabs off. I was like, this is Tekken. I was like, and I literally just went to the fact that, like, it's Tekken 7.
Right.
They made getting out of grabs easy. And he was like, no, I don't want to hear it. I was like, all right, put in Tekken 6. I see a different story. And I was like, you don't want to backtrack to the PS3. Trust me, bro.
Well, I think a lot of people, they really enjoy Tekken 7, right? And I'm not taking anything away from anyone who loves Tekken 7. If Tekken 7 is like your favorite Tekken 7,
by all means.
But enjoy it, enjoy Tekken 7. Like, I want you to enjoy anything, enjoy whatever you want. Who am I? I'm just some guy.
With an opinion.
But I think with an opinion. But I think why some people really enjoyed Tekken 7 like a lot, like it's like a breath of fresh air to them, is because they were coming off of Tekken Tag 2. And that's how I was at first. Like, going from Tekken Tag 2 to Tekken 7, I'm like, Tekken 7 might be the greatest Tekken game since Tekken 5 for me. Mm-hmm. That was my thoughts at the time. Mm-hmm. Because I'm coming from Tekken Tag 2.
Right.
And Tekken Tag 2 is a dumpster fire.
It was a disaster.
It was a disaster.
It was a straight disaster.
And I personally, like, singularly, like, playing the game by myself, hate Tekken Tag 2.
Ooh.
Now, we derived a lot of fun out of it. All of us would come together, the food chain, 8 strong, would come together, team up, fight each other, because it had the 2v2, it can, like the 4-player, and that was always fun. We got some fun out of that, but as far as going online or just, 1v1ing each other, it was no fun to me.
It wasn't. I will definitely say this. I will say this. This is like one of the only aspects I liked about Tekken 2 specifically, is just the tag combos.
Yeah.
The tag combos were nasty. If you know how to do certain things with certain characters, like it's just like, what the freak? Wait, you put Panda and Ogre together? That don't even look like it shouldn't go together, or at least that's what you would think, logically. You'd be like, oh well, Panda and Ogre, that doesn't make any sense. Why would those two go together? All right, let me show you what they can do. Like the one time we went to Katsucon.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if I ever told you about this.
Oh no.
But I made it to the semifinals with King and Fane.
Oh, did you now?
Yes. But the only reason why I didn't make it to the finals is because I couldn't change my buttons.
Oh, they didn't let you change your buttons.
They didn't let me change my buttons.
That's weird. Usually they let you change your buttons. Like you do that beforehand.
They did that only towards the end.
Oh, come on. That's whack.
Only towards the end. So I sat here and I was surprised I even got that far, for one.
Gotcha.
So we sat here and ignored that that's an idiot on a bike. But yeah, like I did this crazy comment, and I think you've seen it before. But I did this crazy combo with King, and I had my headphones on. But this is the first time I had my headphones on, and I still hurt everybody. Because when I did it, the entire crowd was like, "Oh!" I was like, and I mean, I smirked a little bit because I was trying to stay focused. I was like, oh, they like that combo, yes.
That's
yes.
me. I did that.
I think I made that up. Nobody else has done it. So, that was probably about the best part about it is like the combos you have for like the characters. But outside that, it was a disaster.
Right. And it kind of came down, it was a little too complicated. Like there's just too many combinations of characters. But to me, the problem were like the cheesy characters we talked about before, your Lilies, your Eddie Christies, your Laws. They have a certain playstyle. It's a little cheesy playstyle, but they had their place. But the fact that everyone was doing pretty much like double damage all the way through on Tekken, those cheesy playstyles were way more effective than they should have been because of the damage. There's no reason why a kind of a mixed up combo with Lily should kill you. You know what I mean?
Like take like 45% of your damage.
Yeah.
That should not, one hit. It shouldn't do that. Like, and it's like by far the most simplest hit. Now, this is my question I want to ask you because I know you talk about Tekken Tag too. Did you play Tekken Revolution? I
didn't play Tekken.
Oh my God! You dodged.
I downloaded it, right? But my problem was it didn't have all the characters, and none of the characters that I played with weren't on there, so I wasn't too interested.
Mm-hmm. So, good, you dodged. If I had to go to Tekkens that I hated the most, and I think I probably said Tekken 7 was probably like the most disappointing. Yeah, I said it was the most disappointing.
Disappointing.
Tekken Revolution was the worst.
What about it?
Okay, first of all, they had stats.
Oh, I forgot about that.
They had stats.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about that whole system.
Oh my gosh, they had stats. So basically, if you're trash, but you got high stats,
you're gonna win.
You're gonna win, no matter how good the other person is. If the other person has very low stats or average stats, they didn't put the time in to really just build up whatever, and the other person has like high stats. It's pointless playing because that person now is on boss god tier status, and it's stupid. And then they kind of dropped it. They did like an instant drop at the Tekken 5 style play, where it's like no bounds or nothing like that.
Okay, yeah, that was like the big draw. There's no bounds.
Yeah, no bounds. So that was a good, but at the same time it was a negative because it's like you didn't ease us back into this. You just boop, there you go.
Gotcha.
It's back. And it's like, whoa. It's like, all right, cool and everything, but you should have eased us back into this. And like you said, there's the characters. The characters was all RNG. It was all RNG. It was randomized on who you get. You know how long I was playing that game with characters I did not care to play with? And the only person I got was Nina.
Oh my Jesus! Well, Nina's a secondary character.
Nina is my secondary character, but that was the only person I got.
You never got King?
Never got King.
Was King even in Revolution?
Yeah.
I know like the whole roster wasn't in Revolution.
Not all of them, but King was in there.
Okay.
Like, I didn't even get him.
Damn.
And I played that game for months on end. Hardcore, heavy, dedicated, put Nina at a pretty good level, minor level, and just couldn't get King. I got everybody else but King.
That's whack, man.
And I was pissed.
Well, that's especially if it's going to be online. Like, are you really unlocking characters like this? Like, is this how you're going to do it? Like, Revolution. See, that was a weird game because it was free to download, right? It's free to play, I guess.
Knows, man.
But when I tried it out, and like I just said, it was, I didn't have any characters I liked.
Sorry. My nose just keep running. Sorry about that, guys.
Squirtle's a sick boy.
I'm not sick. It's just my nose is running. Ah, my allergies is kicking my booty. Alright, I'm back. But go ahead.
And when I first I downloaded it, I was like, okay, no bounds, let's give this shit a shot. See what it feels like. Because I think everyone was under the impression that and this might be true, this might just be plain old true. That Tekken Revolutions was just kind of like beta testing for Tekken 7. Because if I remember correctly, Tekken Revolution had an armored move. Like every character had an armored move. There's no bounds, and it's kind of how Tekken 7 is. Yeah. So I believe it was a beta test for Tekken 7.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry. I gotta wait. Are you done?
I can be done. You look really excited.
I not more so excited than ungodly irritated. The armor moves. The armor moves in that game.
Uh huh.
Oh my god. If you play with Lars, Lily, any character who had a go back move and then come forward hit, any of those characters, those moves, because those are mostly all their moves. Those are mostly all their moves when they had the armor. They had an armor.
Oh, okay.
You literally will hit through them, and I'm not over exaggerating.
Like after image type of deal.
Not even the after image, during the move, and it's not and it doesn't give you and it doesn't do the armor effect where it's
so there's invincible.
Invincibility. So you can literally hit them. I did Kings. I did not Kings. I did Nina's. I'm about to say Kings. I'm still thinking about King. I did Nina's Unblockable. Tell me how the heck did this happen? Her unblockable, she goes like this.
Yeah, that's a
snake bite.
The kidney strikes or the snake bite or whatever.
I just call it snake bite because I don't know anything else. And literally, my boy had Law, and he did his thing. He Law come back and he brings the kick in, and so the kick is coming in, and I'm doing this. I already hit him way before he got me. He got me with the kick. Completely nullified it. The kick killed me.
What were they thinking?
I don't know.
What were they thinking? See, that's why they made it free to play. Can you imagine if they tried to charge people for a game like that?
Bruh.
That'd be an outrage.
Bruh.
We wouldn't have gotten a Tekken 7.
Bruh, we most likely wouldn't have. At all. So I'm just I'm glad he did because... so, you can tell it was beta test.
Beta test for Tekken 7. Tekken 7 turned out much better than Tekken Revolution.
Oh, God, it did. And it still is, even though to me it's still a disaster, but it turned out a lot better than that game.
Right.
Oh, I would have been crying on that day.
Well, okay, so while we're talking about, we're on Tekken 7. Let's just ignore Tekken Revolution.
I know.
I really don't want to talk about Tekken Revolution
I'm sorry, I brought that up.
It sounds like a real, like worse than Tekken Tag, to be honest. While we're talking about Tekken 7, my biggest gripe, this is my number one gripe with Tekken 7, above all else, aside from the armor, besides the armor, not besides the armor, it's in spite of the armor, I could have enjoyed it.
Right.
Even with the armor, even with the rage arts, is the roster. I think Tekken 7 has one of the weakest rosters in since Tekken Revolution, to be honest. I thought Tekken 6's roster was fantastic. Tekken 5's roster was fantastic. Tekken 4 I never really got into, and we talked about how bad Tekken 4's roster was and all that. Tekken 3's roster, obviously, and then Tekken 2 and 1 are off in their own little world because Tekken 1 is the first, and then Tekken 2 is the expansion. But I think the problem with Tekken 7 is that coming off of Tekken Tag, where you had every character, now all of a sudden you're missing a lot of characters. You're missing a lot, and it's noticeable. How do you feel about the roster of Tekken 7?
Once again, this is what I'm saying. The game is very disappointing to me. Like you said, we came off a Tekken Tag. When we have everybody. Not only do you take a lot of these characters off the roster, and some of the key factor characters.
Oh, yeah. We're going to touch on those a little bit later.
Then you're going to sit here and charge us to get them back.
See, that's the thing. That's like... That's a big gripe. And as DLCs, like, you essentially cut out these characters and you're selling them back to us.
When they should have already... These characters that you took out, they've been in every Tekken
game.
If they was introduced into the new Tekken, they was in the Tekken next after that. Why would you take out these new... These old veteran characters? You do better to introduce the newer characters.
For sure.
Period. Negan, the dude from Final Fantasy,
Noctis.
Chloe, the dude with the Claudio,
Shaheen, Katarina,
you have
Josie. Don't forget about Josie.
Oh yeah, Josie. But that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, well Josie, I kind of was like, because she's kind of like the knockoff version of Bruce.
Of Bruce, yeah.
So she's that. But the other characters, it's like, okay, you want to sit here, you want to charge people for characters. All right, charge them for new characters. Don't charge them for the same characters that's been in the game since Yonder.
Oh, for sure.
That's stupid.
Like Anna's been in the game since Tekken 1.
Lei Wulong,
one of the most popular characters in the game since Tekken 2.
Marduk,
Tekken 4. Armor King, Tekken 1. And then Negan, you know? And that's been my gripe. And I complain about this a lot. And it's not so much that they bring these characters that we've had before into it, right? It's not so much that, like, we've had these characters before, they're veterans, and you took them out and you're selling them back to us.
Right.
Like on saying it out loud like that sounds bad, but certain companies can pull it off, and this is like the big point for me. Some companies can pull it off. Street Fighter pulls it off. Mortal Kombat pulls it off. Because the systems change so drastically that when you bring the characters back, they're almost brand new. But Tekken's not like that. Tekken, they build off of what they have before, or they change a few things, but at its fundamental, at its core, it's still the same old Tekken. So you sold us the same old character that we had already.
Now, to jump in on that, me personally, I don't like that era, period. Like, I don't like the fact you want to resell me characters that I've been playing with since day one. That's really like what they did with Street Fighter, not to sidetrack from Tekken. Okay. But that's just like what they did with Street Fighter 3, which was the first time. When they said that they didn't have Ryu and Ken in there. Yeah. You took out the primary, let me be more specific, primary character.
The most iconic fighting game character of all time.
You took him out. It was like, oh, we're going to just ship this game with him. And it had Street Fighter to it? No, you should have had that thing like Wife Beaters or something like that.
Wife Beaters.
Like, you literally should have had it called that. But they realized now, this is what I will say, they realized their error. And they was like, oh no, we are not getting a positive response from this. Let's do another version. Bring them back in.
Right. Along with like Chun-Li as well.
Along with Chun-Li.
The first lady of fighting games.
The first lady. Okay, that's another time. But anyway. God, I can get into that mode right there. But that's what I'm saying. It's like with Tekken 7, you should have been like, Anna's in there, Lei Wulong's in there, Marduk's in there, Julie is in there. Because I forgot Julie was an add-on.
Julia, that's right.
Julia was an add-on.
I forgot about her.
Julia's an add-on. She should have been in there. Who else did we say?
And Negan is the other one.
And
it was those.
Negan?
It was Anna, Lei, Marduk, Armor King, and then Julia and Negan.
And then Julia. But Negan...
Well, Negan, he just came with the pack. I'm just bringing up. I know he's not an actual Tekken character.
Okay, so I'm talking about...
That was the pack, that came out.
Alright, so... Negan doesn't count.
Negan doesn't count.
He doesn't count. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, cool. But why are you charging us That is by far the most painful thing as a Tekken fan, as a Tekken loyalist. That is painful to me. I know everything's about money right now.
It's all about money.
I know everything's about money. But don't forget your core fans. Don't forget your core players. Don't forget what got you here. And I think a lot of companies, including Tekken, is forgetting that. Tekken, you had loyal fans from Tekken 1 that's been playing all the way up to Tekken 7. Through the good times, through the bad times, you had your loyal fans. Don't crap on them. Don't start crapping on them. You know, don't turn this into a business practice that you soon will regret. And I mean, that's my thing on it. I don't like any company that does that.
Got you. That cuts out characters just to resell them to you.
Yeah, like it's stupid.
Even if the systems are completely different.
Even if they're different, if it's different, because the thing is, what are you doing? What are you technically doing? Even if the system is different, what are you doing with the other characters? You're changing them to fit the system that is different.
That makes sense.
So, what can you do? Make everybody change to make sure that it fits the system. And then you introduce the new people that are going to probably break the system, but you introduce them. That's how it should be. That's just my opinion.
Right, and that's that on the as far as like DLC goes.
Oh yeah. So far as DLCs.
Right, and I kind of feel bad for people that like maybe they've been lifelong Armor Kings because Armor King's always been there. You know, he wasn't scratched that. He hasn't always been there.
He was in 2.
He was in 2, and then he was in 5.
Yeah.
And then he's been there since 5.
Yep.
But maybe you loved Armor King in 2, and we're like, I don't really fuck with 3 and 4 because no Armor King. And then Armor King's back in 5, and you're back on the bandwagon just for him to take him out again and then resell him to you. Or like myself, I always played Anna. Anna was in Tekken 1, and she was in Tekken 2, and she was in Tekken 3. I don't think she was in Tekken 4.
No,
she was in Tekken 5, and Tekken 6, and Tekken Tag, and then all of a sudden she wasn't in Tekken 7. And I think why it feels so painful seeing some of these characters like not in there. Like obviously the biggest culprit is Lei. It's like y'all really took Lei out. Are y'all high?
Oh god, that is the biggest. Lei Wulong.
Lei Wulong.
Lei Wulong is a legend. He's
a
one.
Character.
He's one. No, actually, my fault. Correction. He was 2.
He was 2. He came out.
He was actually 2. He was 2. Correction. He was 2. He's been in it since then. He's the Jackie Chan of the game. He is Jackie Chan.
Right, and we don't have a lot of Jackie Chan representatives in fighting games.
Not as good as he has it.
It's not as good as Lei.
God darn, that dude is Jackie all over.
He's pretty much playing as Jackie Chan.
I know, and if you really look back at like 2, like look at the interest of 2, God darn, that's Jackie Chan. I'm dead serious. That's popping out the blown up building,
right?
And then just pointing a gun at somebody with the mop top hairstyle. That was Jackie.
But they took him out, and because they knew people would get excited, seeing him again. Like, oh, people would get hyped, and people did get hyped. And I feel like that's like one of the bigger problems. Like, y'all shouldn't be getting hyped over this because they cut him out of the game and sold it to you because they knew you would get hyped about it. When you should have had him already, because you just finished playing a game that plays kind of similar to Tekken 7 and Tekken Tag, playing as Lei. You just had him, and now you don't have him.
And you said something just now that makes a ton of sense, and I've been very disappointed with a lot of this. And you said they knew that the fans would get hyped. The fans are so accepting of anything and everything now.
Yeah. Which
is very disappointing. Like it's like I feel like it's only like certain genres that will get pissed off if certain things don't go according. But I feel like fighting games are just so happy to get certain things back. Like, yay! We got Lei Wulong back. Yes. No, you should have been pissed from jump.
Exactly.
You should have been like, whoa, why are we getting him back? He should have never left. Why are we getting Anna back? And it's the acceptance of, you know what? You screwed us. No loop. You screwed us. Thank you. Oh, but we're getting him back, and guess what? We're going to charge you $5.99 to get this character. I actually don't know the price because like I said,
I don't quite remember.
Yeah,
It came out in packs.
Yeah, like I said, I told you, I completely traded it in. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's disrespectful. So disrespectful to the fans.
Right.
And then the fans are. It's gonna come off kind of raw right now.
Well, you've always been have always had controversial opinions.
But this is the thing, though. Like, to be so hyped over something that should not have been taken out, you're an idiot. You're an idiot for believing that. You're an idiot for being so happy to have that, to have a character come back. I'm dead serious. If they was to take out King, and especially, before I even bought, I would have been like, nah, you're not getting an ounce of money. No. And the funny part is, I would try to make people boycott on in favor for me because he took out King. Like, people like, I'm not a King player though. I don't care. Boycott the goddamn game. They took out King.
Right. It's the fundamentals of it.
It's the principles of it. Yeah, it's the principles of it. Like, it's such an idiotic move to do, but it's so frustrating because you said it perfectly. They knew people was going to get hyped.
And they got hyped. And so it's like they didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
But they clearly did. And it's so ironic because Tekken 7 is a much better game than Tekken Tag 2, right? We've established that a while ago.
We agree with that.
But as far as DLC goes, it's inversed. I love what Tekken Tag 2 did with the DLC.
Yeah.
Because we got the everyone is here, right? Everyone is here. Your Lei is here. Your Anna's here. Marduk's here too. Julia is JC, right?
Right.
Why is Julia JC? Oh, because Michelle is here. You know what I mean? So we don't need that. We can make a new character.
Right.
But that's Julia, right? It's like Julia the character is here. Her style's different, but her style is different because her mom is here. Right? And who fights just like Michelle, right? And it's all, fights just like Julia, and it's all good, right? And then they did their DLC, and the way they did their DLC was so, I don't want to call it genius, but was so fantastic, because they had DLCs like Alex the Dinosaur, Dr. Boskanovich, they had Ancient Ogre.
So you brought back some pretty good names.
Yeah, Tiger, and there's more, Unknown.
Unknown.
Unknown, yeah.
God,
Sebastian the Butler.
Was Jinpachi?
Jinpachi started in the game.
He just started.
Yeah.
Which was a good. I actually like Jinpachi.
Oh yeah, Jinpachi's cool.
He was fun.
But it comes back because those characters they gave us, like in the DLC,
right.
We didn't need those characters.
You're right, we did.
We didn't need any of them.
But
no one was clamoring to play as Dr. B. Maybe some people were like, I wish Dr. B would come back. But no one was like, if Dr. B's not in this game, I'm boycotting.
Right.
No one was like, if Alex ain't in this game, I'm boycotting.
Also,
and I was an Alex player in Tekken Tag 2.
Zalyu's friend.
Maharu.
She was in there.
Yeah, I think it was Maharu.
Lily's butler.
Yeah,
Which
Sebastian.
is basically copy and paste of Lily. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you had these characters that was in there. Now, this is something I want to ask you. How do you feel about the cosmetics in Tekken 7 versus all the other Tekkens that...
The customizations?
That introduced the customizations.
Oh, shit. I don't want to give away, like, my feelings immediately. Tekken 7, I went into Tekken 7, right? I went into Tekken 7 with very high hopes as a whole. It looked like it played well. And it played well. I was really excited for the cosmetics, because Tekken Tag 2, I was like, these cosmetics are weak, bro. They're weak. Everyone had the same cosmetics. Everyone had the same thing. And I was like, okay, that's kind of whack. Because you're coming from, say, Tekken Tag 2, like you're currently playing Tekken Tag 2.
Right.
You're coming from Tekken Tag 6, whose customizations was fantastic.
Thank you.
It was fantastic. And Tekken Tag 2's was really weak. And I was like, okay, this is kind of weak, but I'll do what I can with it, whatever. And then Tekken 7 was coming out. I was like, all right, Tekken 7, it looks way better than Tekken Tag. And it is way better than Tekken Tag. But Tekken 7's customization is way weaker than Tekken Tag's customization. I think it's weak as hell. I think it's weaker than Tekken Tag's.
I'm not disagreeing with
that
you.
might be controversial, but I think Tekken 7's customization is super weak.
It's stupid weak. Man, you know the outfits we made on Tekken 6?
They're
like
fucking great, bro.
What? Hold on, first of all, Dragunov as Joker.
Oh my god.
That in general right there should let you know something. That was ridiculous. Dragunov, like the outfits were so amazing. Like in it wasn't in the color variations was great. You had color, had a great mixture of colors, and then you go to Tekken Tag 2, like you said. Yeah, that's a drop.
A little weak.
Then you go to Tekken 7. You're like, what the freak is this, dude? All of a sudden now it's like, oh yeah, you got one T-shirt. Granted, I'm over exaggerating.
Right. Yeah, you actually have 100 T-shirts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All with like little like pictures on them, but
like,
you can tell they're just cropped on there.
It's like cropped on, black T-shirt, red T-shirt, and it's just like, I want actual real customization.
Right, that's unique to each character, like Tekken 6.
Like Tekken 6. Like, I sit here and I told you I recently played Tekken 6.
Yeah, well, we had that challenge out there.
Oh yeah, we do got that out there. Mm-hmm. So I am getting prepared for that. Like so, but that's the point. Like I'm sitting here and I'm like playing with my outfits, like customized hair, the customized hairstyle, that was nuts. Sorry, I got mad loud about that. Like that Spike. Was nuts. It was creative. It was genius. It was something different. It was something new. And it was like, all right, cool, great. You can actually make a character look different from what they look like. Tekken 7, you can't do that.
Okay.
The character still looks the same. Put a helmet on him, you still look like Marduk. You look like Marduk with a T-shirt on. The pants suck.
Almost universally, like everyone's pants kind of suck.
That's what I'm saying. You didn't hear me sit there and say, "Oh, this person's pants suck." I said the pants suck. Like, period. Props suck. Technically, the props we don't need.
We don't need.
We don't need those props.
No one wants to. You're not. Most people, if you use the props in game, like they're like, "Oh, you really use like one of your."
You using the props like for real? I'm about to say Wichita was infamous for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. We trying to keep names out the mouth. But
I'm happy you brought up Dragunov in Tekken 6 because I've never been like a Dragunov player. But
I love
he had this all of his customizations in 6 were so cool. He had a gas mask, he had straight jackets, he had all kinds of cool shit. Like the Joker costume.
He had the royalty jacket.
And he had so many cool things. I'm like, screw this, I'm using Dragunov just so I can use some of this cool thing. And I did. In Tekken 6, I used Dragunov. And I didn't in later games because weak customizations. I used them because I could make him look cool, and if I can't make him look cool, I don't want to use him. Not saying Dragunov's not a cool character. He's super cool. But I didn't use Dragunov.
And that's the point. That was the point. Like, I sat there, I was sitting there just creating characters to create characters.
Right.
Just for fun.
See what they could look like.
Yeah, it was so fun. It was just so fun. And it was just like, oh, okay, cool. And also, the modes that they had. I like what's the thing called again? It's not arcade, but it's like World Tour or something like that. Something like that.
On which one?
Scenario, that's what it's called.
Oh, the scenario campaign?
The scenario campaign. That was fun.
It was fun.
That was fun.
I mean, the story's a little weird, but...
It is. It's all over the place.
It was fun. It was like Tekken Force.
But done right.
Actually attaching the story.
Tekken Force wasn't that bad, but I didn't like playing with Jin. Because I'm not a Jin main, nor do I like playing with
Tekken 5?
Force. Oh, yeah, Tekken Force. I didn't like playing with
Well, you didn't have to play as Jin on Tekken 3 and 4 as Tekken Force.
You did? I don't know why. Because I feel like that's the only person you can play with.
Tekken 5 had a story mode on it that you can only play as Jin. Thing like Devil's Awakening or something like that.
Yeah.
Devil's
that's what it's called. Devil's Awakening.
And you played as Jin there, but it wasn't like they didn't drop Jin, the playable character, into the story. He had like a custom moveset, and it was a lot more simplified. Like a beat 'em up.
Yeah. So in that sense, I just didn't like it. I was like, ugh. But when they did that one, yes, you had to play through with Lars first. You did.
The first couple of levels.
The first couple of levels you had to. Then it was just like, all right, cool. You want to switch up your character? Go ahead and switch up your character. And the thing I loved about it, which is another thing that frustrates me with games in general, but I hate that Tekken did it, is the fact that during that type of style too, you was able to play and unlock different clothes.
Oh yeah.
Unlock different items, unlock different clothes. That to me is such a slept-on feature. Like, it's such a slept-on feature, and it's like, what happened to that? Bring that back. That was such an awesome thing. So that's just that's my view on it. Like, you know, they need a lot of they need honest opinions on this stuff.
Got you. Going back to the roster, which is where this whole thing got started on. Going back to the roster of Tekken 7, I think the hardest part about dealing with some of these characters missing, like the big characters missing, is the new additions to the roster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your Claudio's, Shaheen, Katarina, Josie, Lucky Chloe,
Right.
Gigas, and there might be one or two more I'm missing, but those people in general. How do you feel about those new characters?
I don't like them.
You don't like any of them?
None of them.
Not a one.
Not one.
They're. Well, what are your like, your thoughts, your deeper thoughts?
They don't bring nothing to the game.
Really, they're just so nothing that it's really hard to like to form any.
Game, and then when you look at it, like I said, what's her name? Josie. She's a knockoff of Bruce. Katarina. She's wannabe Howling. You have the one dude, Claudio, got a power arm, which is weird. The one person I probably say that has the most uniqueness to him is Rashid. I think it's Rashid.
Shaheen. Yeah.
Shahid. He's the only one that has probably the most unique style. To start.
Well, it's a little undefined, his style. Like, if they didn't, or maybe they did. Maybe I'm just like totally have no idea what the style of that country is. But it seems like
Cobb McGraw.
Yeah, maybe.
But Lucky Chloe, I kind of like hers a little bit, but that's only just because she's like breakdancing like the whole entire match. But
oh yeah, well, you know, she's a little cheeky.
Girl.
She's like a cheeky character.
Yeah, God, she's such an annoying character, so annoying. And I don't know if it's just me, but I can't play none of them. It's not because I don't want to. I mean, it's not because I can't. I don't want to. They're boring.
Thank you. You finally said the word. I was hoping you would get on it so I could.
Okay.
I was listening.
I was saying everything else but the word that he wanted to say.
They're boring. There's nothing to them. Really, they're kind of shallow. And they kind of and maybe people disagree. But I don't get anything. They all kind of have this almost the same personality. Like Katarina, you would think she's a little smarmy, a little cheeky, but she's not. She's actually quite serious, and that's really annoying. Because you know her style and the way she like some of her moves are a little bombastic and super fake. But at this point, Tekken, it's kind of hard to expect their new characters to have real styles anymore because almost the entirety of their new characters is like fake flashy styles.
Yeah.
Like Claudio's literally using magic. Shaheen is just like an undefined flippy style. Katarina's just a kicky girl.
Mm-hmm.
You play with it with your eyes closed. She's meant for like babies. And then Gigas is interesting because he had a lot of potential to be really cool, really interesting.
He has raw power.
And he's not fantastic, but in the right hands, if you like kind of blindside someone good, and they don't really know how to fight Gigas, you can take them down.
You can.
But I always get this impression that Gigas isn't finished.
He's not. I think halfway through they was like, let's just do Gigas. Well, wasn't we gonna do partner? Let's do Gigas.
It's Gigas.
Gigas. It's not Bardock. Bardock.
He has some of Bardock's moves. I feel like they stopped halfway with that idea.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's exactly what I'm saying. He has some of Marduk's moves, and it's just like, well, was this supposed to be Marduk when, like, under control or something, juiced up? I mean, that would make sense.
And it'd be an interesting story, like...
Exactly.
Because, like, what happened to Marduk? Why is he like this now? Interesting story.
And then, at the same time, if they were to do it that way, you can introduce the King and Armor King story to it again. Because now it's like, all right, Armor King and King versus Gigas.
A
juiced up version of Marduk. we already know Marduk by himself is a beast.
It's a beast. He killed the original Armor
He
King.
killed the original Armor King. And he gave King a run for the money.
Right.
So, now, let's look at it. Armor King and King would have to put away their differences. And you look at Gigas, and King will probably try to talk Gigas down. But not working. Armor King comes out of nowhere, just drop kick him because he's like, you know what? I don't care. That's the person that killed my brother.
Right.
I'm gonna knock him out anyway. So,
well, let me give you a scenario right quick.
yeah,
I'm very
making up a whole entire story.
That's a very interesting story. So let me do like a gameplay scenario, as if it were like the story mode of Tekken, right? Except instead of focusing on the Mishimas, we're focusing on this little sect of people, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Now with the Gigas character, there's high implications that Katarina is related to this Gigas character.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So say Katarina isn't like Katarina Alves. It's I don't know what nationality Marduk is. But say it actually is Marduk's sister, right?
Vale Tudo style.
That's his style.
That's his style, but that's like
but you can learn that in America.
I think what it originated from, I think, was like Italy or something.
I don't think Marduk's Italian. I really don't.
I think I'm just trying to remember. Ah, God. Okay, go.
Well, anyway, wherever Marduk comes from, say Katarina is Marduk's sister, right?
Right.
Say they're actual brother and sister. Marduk gets turned into Gigas, right? Mm-hmm. We're not immediately told that Marduk is Gigas, right?
Right.
But we're introduced to... This is implying that this is, like, part of the story mode. Right? And the story mode is actually well written. We're introduced to Katarina. Let's call her Katarina. Her name probably obviously wouldn't be Katarina. Or maybe it would be. Anyway. Katarina is searching for Marduk. She's also a fighter, right? She's also... runs in the family. She's looking for Marduk. She knows something happened to her brother. And she's aware... that Marduk and King are like best friends now. They're best friends now. So she herself goes to King and says, Marduk is missing. Help me find Marduk, right? Mm-hmm. And then they approach Marduk, right? They find Gigas, right? And they fight Gigas. It's Katarina and King versus Gigas, right?
Right.
But you play as Gigas. The fight starts and you play as Gigas and you fuck King and Katarina up, right? He's too strong, right? Gigas is just too strong for him. It's all juiced up. Because King and Marduk went head to head, and they gave each other a run for their money. Mm-hmm. But now Gigas is juiced up, and King can't beat him, and Katarina can't beat him because she's not as good as them. And you beat them both as Gigas. You play as Gigas, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe you play as Gigas other times, fucking up the other members of the roster, right? Right. Maybe you approach other people because he's like a weapon now.
Yeah,
right? He's like a weapon now, and he's fucking up other people.
And you see the tubes that makes him.
Yeah, you see him, and this is like Marduk. It turns Marduk, who was pretty unsympathetic, like into a sympathetic character now. Yeah. It's like he was a bad guy, but he don't deserve that.
Yeah.
And he started to redeem himself with King. So now that he's like this, and he's kind of how he used to be, kind of just like a brute who didn't think things through, and he was violent, and he was getting better, and now he's forced to go that beyond his means.
Yep.
And King and Katarina regroup, and King's like, through his roars that somehow the whole cast understands, he's like, we can't beat King. We can't beat Gigas, I mean. Mm-hmm. But I know someone who can help us, and that's when you go get Armor King, because this is after Season Pack 2, right? Yep. This is new story, right? This is New Game Plus.
New Game Plus.
And we go get Armor King, right? Mm-hmm. And you tell Armor King, he doesn't say it immediately, because King knows Armor King's history at Marduk.
Exactly.
He goes, hey, Armor King, there's this guy, like, really fucking up everybody.
Right.
We need your help to get it. And he's like, okay, since you asked me to, I respect you, King. Mm-hmm. Because my brother respected you, King.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So they go off and they go to fight Gigas, right? Now it's 3v1, right? Mm-hmm. But this time you play as Armor King, King, and Katarina. You can switch between them somehow. Right. Kind of like a Tekken tag.
Oh god, that'd be sick.
Right.
That would be so sick. Oh my god.
And you fight Gigas and you beat Gigas, right?
You having scenarios here in Tekken.
Listen.
You're having scenarios here.
I'm not fully done yet, right? Because that's just like the action part. Like here comes the emotional part, right? You beat Gigas, right? And then, like, Gigas is down, and then it gets revealed, like, some reason, maybe accidentally, Katarina says, oh, my brother Marduk is saved. And this triggers Armor King. Mm-hmm. Armor King must kill Marduk because Marduk killed his brother. And Armor King goes in for the attack, and then King stops him, and then it becomes a King versus Armor King fight. Mm. And so you have to defeat Armor King as King.
What about choosing? Like you have
Or
to
choose them. Maybe you
choose one. You want
maybe you
king
choose.
or armor king.
And that depends on that depends on like that can be who you fight next. It's almost like a good bad ending. Almost. Yeah. King, you defeat Armor King, you save Marduk, and Katarina's happy or whatever.
And you possibly earn Armor King's
respect. Or you play as Armor King, you defeat King, you kill Marduk, and you inevitably have to fight Katarina. And you beat Katarina. Or you can flip it, kind of make it corny. You play as Katarina and she defeats Armor King. I wouldn't want that. You defeat the whole trio as Armor King, and then Armor King is like disgraced. He had to he had to beat up his brother's protege.
Yeah.
But he's like conflicted. He beat up his brother's protege, but he killed his brother's killer.
Murderer, yeah.
But he also hurt like an innocent person who probably the original Armor King wouldn't have hurt. So now he's all conflicted. Like those are your two options.
Yo, that's such a scenario.
Like that's the scenario.
That's
right there. What do you
such
think?
a scenario. That is not. I'm on board with it. God, they need to do that. They did. You know what? It's also now. This is just a petty thing. This is a petty thing that I wanted ever since I saw it in Tekken 5, and it's on King's story. When Julia Chan was like. She showed concern for King in Tekken 5.
Okay.
Like, she showed a concern. And in Tekken Tag.
When she was JC?
When she was JC. They had a little chemistry.
Okay.
In there. So, I was like, okay. Are they building a little thing between King and Julia? But then he just threw it out the window with this one because now Julia's like a freaking internet.
Yeah, everything's
Instagram
weird
thought.
Instagram thought.
But no, all of a sudden that changed.
Right.
And I was like, wait, what? Huh? Bring that story back.
Right, interesting.
Let my man get some love. He's a lion. He's a leopard.
He's a leopard.
He's a leopard.
Is he a leopard? He's a jaguar.
Ooh, actually no,
He's a jaguar.
Ooh, we both were.
Yeah, we both said leopard twice last time we talked.
Ooh.
But I think it comes down to just the lacking in Tekken's story. Like the writers they don't take any risks whatsoever.
They focus on the Mishimas.
Who are kind of the least interesting part of the whole story.
Exactly. And I'm sorry to say it. My baby Nina? No. Just separate her from Kazuya.
Right.
Separate her from Kazuya. I mean Jin. Separate her from him. This is my bodyguard. This is my assassin. No.
That's the only way they ever shove her into the story.
No. The beef between her and her sister is legendary.
Right, and it's interesting because, as you've seen in many of their endings, like, they quote-unquote try to kill each other, but when the opportunity comes where they could definitively kill one another, neither one can do it. They both, like, back off. Like, she's like, I have the shot, but they don't take the shot. And that's so interesting, and we never touch on it.
And then there's the story between Nina and Steve.
Oh my goodness, you're right.
You have so many stories to branch off of. Why are you making this so much only about the Mishima? The Mishimas.
Right, and it's such a circle. Like, their story
Literally.
is such a fucking circle.
Oh, I beat you, Dad. Oh, Dad, I beat you. I beat you, Grandpa. Grandpa. Oh, you beat me, son. Oh,
right.
Who cares?
It's just like a revolving door of who owns the Mishima Zaibatsu, and it's so dull.
And now where's Lars at?
What the fuck is Lars doing? He's not
Yeah,
doing
what is
shit right
Lars?
now.
Lars is not
He's
in the
like I think he's like doing a rebellion or something.
Like, now he's literally the adopted stepchild.
Yeah, or something like that.
Like, God.
But they tried to give it... I respect what they tried to do. In Tekken 7, they tried to give Heihachi some depth, because he was kind of just like your standard villain. And you used to see, and it was so interesting. They had something there where the devil gene came from Kazuya's mom. She had the devil gene, and she's the one that passed it on, and Heihachi had to defeat her. But that was one fight, and we never saw the mom again. The mom was literally killed there. And she had no stake for the rest of the thing except for Akuma. Like, Akuma was more of a part of the story than the mom was.
Okay, keep going.
Because Heihachi and Kazumi, like, they fell in love with each other, right? That's adorable, right? Heihachi can feel love? Awesome. We should have explored that way more. We should have way more flashbacks of those characters, like, fighting alongside each other. Since Kazumi's a playable character in her human form, and Heihachi's obviously a playable character, we should have way more flashbacks of them fighting alongside each other and gradually falling in love. That would have been a good story. And when it would have capped off with them, having Kazuya and Kazumi giving in to her devil gene and going, devil Kazumi, and then Heihachi having to kill her, that would have been so much better than what we got. And the fact that Kazumi is the one who charged Akuma with defeating Kazuya and Heihachi, Akuma showed up several times through the story to fight Heihachi and Kazuya, and he's defeated them. But he had more of a stake in the whole story than Kazumi did.
And I think, now, to go into that also, I respect and I do like the fact that they brought a Street Fighter character in, which gives me hope for the Tekken X Street Fighter.
Right.
I like Akuma's involvement. Yeah. I do like his involvement. But one of the things that I do look at sometimes, and I kind of get frustrated with sometimes, and it's not like anybody else's fault except for the creators, is, okay, Jin, I get. He's half and half. The devil gene runs through Jin, and it runs through Kazuya. What the freak does Heihachi have? Nothing. He's a human. He's a human with the capability to be able to survive some of the most impossible stuff. An explosion that knocked him all the way over.
Point blank.
Explosion. Like, point blank. He ain't like he was like, oh, hey, I dodged it. No, it said the explosion knocked him, like, God knows, 200 feet away from where it was at. Buried this dude under the ground. Somehow, some way, he came back. And then when he was fighting Akuma is demon.
Yeah.
Demon. This dude goes toe-to-toe with Kazuya in his devil form. Why was Heihachi even able to get that dude to run for anything?
Well, Akuma wasn't, like, when Akuma fought Devil Kazuya, he was Shin Akuma. It was Shin Akuma versus Devil Kazuya.
Right.
He was his regular Akuma against Heihachi.
Right. Yeah. I remember that.
I don't think Heihachi would be able to touch Shin Akuma. I don't think anyone... There's very few people in more grounded fighting games that can touch Shin Akuma. Right? Unless you're talking about, like, literal, like god characters from, like, BlazBlue or whatever. I don't think anyone in Mortal Kombat. I don't think anyone in Street Fighter. I don't think anyone in Guilty Gear. I don't think anyone in King of Fighters. I don't think anyone can touch Shin Akuma. No. Maybe people will make, like, an argument for, like, God Rugal or something, but I don't think so. I
the only person, and he actually said the only person that can go toe to toe with Shin Akuma is Evil Ryu. Evil Ryu. That's the only reason why. But that's a different story. But
Shin Akuma was, like, his second form. He still has Oni.
Yeah, he still has. Actually, do Oni count? Does Oni count as a third level now?
Oni counts just as much as Evil Ryu counts.
Well, now they got Kage for Evil Ryu.
Right, that's just a different name, though. Kage is Ryu's Oni.
Yes, because all Oni means is true demon. That's all it means.
And then Kage is Shadow, I think.
Yeah, Shadow. So whatever.
Anyway,
either way,
I'm sorry.
Somewhere else. The fact is that I don't like the fact that Heihachi is like this survival master, and all he does is he is a human.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. He's human. He's old as dirt. And then the thing that makes no sense to me is how does Heihachi's dad get the devil gene?
Who, Jinpachi?
How does Jinpachi get the devil gene?
The way they described it, and this is all the weakness in the story. All of this, what we're talking about, is weakness in storytelling and constant retcons and all this shit. Mm-hmm. Like, the way Jinpachi got it, which they could have said Jinpachi had the devil gene and passed it on. They could have said it skips generations. They could have said that. But what they actually went with was Jinpachi was possessed by a demon when he was chained up by Heihachi. Heihachi defeated him in combat, chained him up in, like, a basement. In the basement of the thing that exploded, where he got exploded point blank, that released Jinpachi.
Mm-hmm. And so he made a contract, didn't he? He made a contract with a demon. I
don't know. It said he was possessed by a demon, right? Just possessed by a demon.
Okay.
And And that's how he got it, even though it looked like a devil gene. And they could have gone with Jinpachi had the devil gene.
Mm-hmm.
It skips a generation, so Heihachi didn't get it, but then Kazuya got it.
Right.
But then the problem is there would be no explanation for Jin's devil gene. Now, I don't know if you remember, and I'll bring this up, and I can't stress this enough, this is all weakness in storytelling. For Tekken, when the game first dropped, Tekken 1, Devil Kazuya wasn't a literal Devil Kazuya.
No.
He didn't literally turn into a demon. It was just fighting the inner demon inside, the inner devil inside.
Right.
So it was all symbolic, which is good. If they kept with that, that would have been...
How cool.
How cool is that? But then Tekken 2, right? Devil...
Wait, no. Tekken 2. Devil Jin, he came in Tekken 2.
No, Devil Kazuya. No,
Devil
there was...
Kazuya. The motherfucker Devil Kazuya. Was he in Tekken 1?
He was in Tekken 1, yeah.
Was he?
Yeah. But it was just like Kazuya with like devil wings or something like that, I think. But as far as the character of Devil go, that was Devil Kazuya. But as far as the character of Devil.
Oh, Devil.
Right?
Devil was 2.
Devil was 2, right? And he was the final boss, right? But then you had Angel. Which, and when I was a kid, I thought Angel was Jun. Because I saw like the animated movie.
Yeah.
I thought Angel was Jun, you know? It's like, okay, Jun's the good side and whatever, the fight.
You would think.
But it turns out Angel is just the good side of Kazuya fighting the bad side of Kazuya. Okay? And so there's that. And then it turns out that when Kazuya was a kid, he was thrown off of the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
While he was falling, he made a deal with the devil to give him powers to survive. Right? And that's how he became devil, right? It went
Wasn't he unconscious, though?
No, he didn't become unconscious till he hit the ground. While he was falling, he did that.
Oh. Okay.
And then, but in the first one, it was symbolic.
Mm-hmm.
He made a deal with the devil in the second one, so he was like devil, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they said in Tekken 3, the devil inside Kazuya split in half when Jin was born, and half of it went to Jin.
Right.
Right? So there's Devil Jin, right? And then I think it was, I don't know if it was Tekken 4 or Tekken 5, where they said, and I could be wrong, it could be Tekken 3, where they said it's a gene, a devil gene, that's passed on from person to person.
That's right. They did switch it to that.
So it's constant retconning all the way up until the devil gene.
Oh, God.
And then that begged the question, and this is what made people bring up, is like, does the devil gene skip a generation? Because, sorry, Heihachi doesn't have a devil gene.
He doesn't have a devil gene. He has, like, crazy immense power.
Right, for no reason. And then Tekken 7, Kazumi had the devil gene, which, mind you, is interesting.
Yes.
But we didn't get any character development for Kazumi, so at the end of the day, it didn't fucking matter.
At all.
Like, why does she control a tiger? How does she control a tiger?
What is the purpose of the tiger?
What is the purpose of the tiger?
No reason. God, dude. This is...
I'm sorry, I kind of ranted there for a second.
No.
That's just like the history
bro,
of the devil.
that is one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing. That's the reason why we're talking about the topic, because it's not one of those topics where it's just like, we got to be so PC about everything. We got to be, you know what, we don't want to hurt the feelings of fans and all that stuff. Granted, we're not trying to hurt feelings of fans, but this is our opinions for one, and at the same exact time, this is what I'm not saying everybody, I can guarantee this is what some people are looking at and be like, yo, they hitting a lot of points that's making sense.
Right.
Because the story is all over the place.
It's all over the place.
It's all over the place. There's no solid story to concrete anything. And the most that you can see is just 3 people that has the Mishima name, and guess what? They're all beefing with each other.
Right, all with each other, and that's been the story for so long that who cares? Like, who cares, really? And spoiler alert for Tekken 7. So spoiler. Heihachi dies at the end of Tekken 7. But does anyone really think Heihachi's not coming back for Tekken 8?
He's gonna come back.
No, he's gonna come back for some reason, and then we're gonna get the story all over again because they're afraid to take risks. And my point is, well, not my point, but another point is, why introduce Lars in Tekken 6, who's a half Mishima, and have him do literally nothing? He's got no devil powers, no nothing. He's the protagonist and does next to nothing.
His character is...
Jin is the one who swooped in at the end of Tekken 6 and defeated Azazel.
Yep. Friggin' Lars is an irrelevant character, and Alyssa, she's an irrelevant character.
Right. They're in Tekken 6, they're really jarring because they were very anime, those two.
Yeah.
Like before Claudio, before Katarina, before Lucky Chloe, they were like so anime. Like neither one. Like
very anime.
Like Lars was super anime. His looked stupid. Like, because the cast was still like the cast that most people grew up with. No, even including Wang and Ganryu, like 2 sleeper characters. Like, that was still them.
Wang is definitely a sleeper.
And
He's
then
a sleeper.
and then Lars dropped in there. He's really jarring because it's really weird. Not in a way like Roger or Kuma is, which is like you're a human and you're very strange. And then Alyssa, who's like a robot, and we've done robots before. We have Jack, and we have Yoshimitsu was at first a robot in Tekken 1. Well, he was a space. He was like a space alien.
When did they switch him officially?
Tekken 3, I think.
And they switched him to a human, right?
Or maybe it could have been Tekken 2.
Or Android.
Or something like that. I think Tekken 2, he might have been like a robo, like an android, and then Tekken 3, he was just like how we know him.
Okay.
But Tekken 1, he was a space alien. He was an alien.
I'm about to say, how the way you broke it down for me. Didn't you say something about like Yoshimitsu now officially started becoming like he was a character where there's different versions of Yoshimitsu. There's different Yoshimitsu.
Yeah, there's different.
Who take up the mantle of being Yoshimitsu.
The Yoshimitsu we play as in Tekken, right? From 1 to 7, that's the same Yoshimitsu. That is the latest Yoshimitsu, right? That's the latest Yoshimitsu.
Okay.
The Yoshimitsu you play in as Soul Calibur, from whenever he was first introduced into Soul Calibur to Soul Calibur 4.
Right.
That's the very first Yoshimitsu. That's he started the clan.
Okay.
And then Tekken 5, we get introduced to Yoshimitsu the second. Right, that's Yoshimitsu the second. They do the ritual where Yoshimitsu the second cuts off Yoshimitsu the first head, absorbs his power, claims the sword.
Oh, free.
And then it got rebooted.
So Highlander.
And Tekken 6,
so Highlander.
Soul Calibur 6, we're back to the first Yoshimitsu.
Oh, okay.
And it breaks my heart to take a small more tangent. Eventually, the Yoshimitsu that I've grown to love will have to be killed and replaced, and they're probably going to replace him with a girl.
Konimatsu.
It better not be good.
Konimatsu.
It better not be good.
They gotta bring back Koni.
Don't get me wrong. I don't have a problem with it being a female. If Yoshimitsu comes back and it's a female, so what? I'll play Yoshimitsu. I'll always play Yoshimitsu. As long as they play the same. They could switch him up and give him like daggers and shit. And this is the new Yoshimitsu. I'm like, I'm sorry, but this isn't my Yoshimitsu.
This isn't Yoshimitsu. To me, there are certain things. There are certain characters that we use the word iconic.
Yeah.
And it's certain things that's just like, all right, you know what? We should not change them. Don't tamper with these characters. I think that's the thing right now. What's happening nowadays in society is that they're tampering. Everybody's tampering with something.
Right.
So, please keep these characters to who they are. That is what made us as fans love these characters. That's what made us as fans love these games. That's what made us as fans respect the creators, as the creators in a way that we probably should respect our bosses. We look at them and we're like, hey, you know what? We thank y'all for not giving in to being these different versions. And plus, like I said, they did a female version of Yoshimitsu, which is
Kunimitsu, yeah.
Kunimitsu.
She was like a kunai.
Yeah, she's there you
they
go.
had a good dynamic.
They had
rivalry going. Well, they're just not rivalry. They had just plain old enemies.
Yeah, then we have like I said, we got introduced to a female wrestler. JC, yeah. We got introduced to
her. But she didn't return for Tekken 7.
Which is stupid.
It's like, y'all created a brand new character and just left her there.
That's always... They just been butchered. Actually going through this and having this conversation, it's actually helping me to realize, oh my God, they made a lot of crazy back and forth decisions.
Yeah, they're kind of whiplashing everybody.
Yeah, and this is keep it to this.
Because in Tekken Tag, you're like, everybody's here. Wow. And then, so we're going to move on from this. And granted, as far as the roster goes, right, in Tekken Tag, great roster, we touched on that already. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't expect them to bring characters like Alex back.
No.
Or Sebastian, or Tiger, or any of them. Like, if they brought back just that core cast, right? Mm-hmm. And Ancient Ogre, come on. I really loved Ancient Ogre. And True Ogre, I love both of them.
Yes.
But I think that's what people were expecting. No one expected, the clones to come back.
No,
right,
no,
but I think people wanted,
we wanted variety.
Build on what you had. Why take a whole bunch of people away?
We wanted variety, and we didn't get variety. We got below basic.
Yeah.
And that's sad. We got below basic on that one.
And it's not like they were gone for story reasons. They were gone because you just didn't bring them back for no real reason. It's not like Lei died in the story or something.
And that's the point that you just said it. And it wasn't like they was going for stories. They was going because how we don't feel like bringing them back.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because the character they did they did it like one time well, and that was with Jun Kazama.
Yep.
Right? She was in Tekken. She was protagonist of Tekken 2. And then Ogre got her. And now she's not in Tekken 3. But the remnants of her style are there with Jin. So she wasn't gone, and then they quote unquote brought her back with like her niece or cousin or something? With Asuka. Asuka like had a more updated version of her style.
Yeah.
So they did that right. And then they brought her back for Tekken Tag 2 with a whole new style, right? And it was really cool. And then they just left her there.
To go along with it, to go back to how horrible the storytelling is. Remember in Tekken 5, when Asuka touched Jin?
Yeah.
She completely eradicated the devil gene.
It turned him back normal.
Why don't she have any involvement with the Mishimas?
Damn, that's a good question. She doesn't...
She has no involvement with the Mishimas.
I forgot all about that. Like, they really played it up like she was the reincarnation of...
She was the reincarnation. Because even when they brought Jun back up in Tekken Tag, Jun had the same style as Asuka.
Right, it was a little more flowy. She had quite a... it was, at its core, the same style.
Yeah, at its core, the same style for the most part. But the thing is, though, was that Asuka had a role in 5.
Yeah.
You took that away from her completely.
Now she's just another nothing character to the story. Just another nothing character.
Wow, yo, you really going over this is actually making me realize how horrible their storytelling is.
As a storyteller, like, you notice these kind of things. Like, these inconsistencies, these threads that go nowhere. Especially, like, I forgot all about the Asuka thing. It's like, y'all really set up. Like, this isn't just... And the problem with the Asuka thing, that's not just a small thing.
It's not.
Right? Her touch nullifies the devil gene. Just like Jun's touch nullifies the devil gene.
So...
Y'all set that up and dropped it? Are you kidding me?
Asuka? Oh, hey, Uncle Kazuya.
And he's
devil gene's going.
And there's no telling how much of an influence the devil gene has on Kazuya's mind state. It could totally rewire his head back to normal, and he could be a pro tag again from Asuka's touch.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
they didn't go anywhere with it.
They you know what, man? I think, and this is frustrating because this goes back to a statement that I heard somebody say before, and somebody said, like, fighting games don't have stories, and I say, and I'm like, nah, that's bullcrap. Like, fighting games, there are certain fighting games that are very good with continuing the story. Street Fighter is very known for continuing their story, and it's been the same story kind of ever since. Ryu's looking to be stronger. Ken's already doing this thing.
Right.
But I gotta say, when it came to Tekken 5, guess what? They evolved. They grew. Ken grew. Cammy grew.
Wait, Tekken 5?
Tekken 5, story-wise.
What, you talking about Ken and Cammy?
No. Not like together. Not like they didn't even become like a pair.
No, but
like
Ken and Cammy aren't on Tekken 5.
That's not Tekken 5. That's not Street Fighter 5. My fault.
Yeah, I was like,
my fault. Sorry.
You're throwing me off.
Street Fighter 5.
Street Fighter 5. Okay.
Street Fighter 5. Their characters grew.
Yeah.
It grew. The Ken has a different purpose. Cammy has a different purpose. Chun-Li, different purpose. Like, she's not even concerned about Shadowloo no more. She's just doing her own thing.
Right, because Shadowloo's his ult.
Yeah, it's done. Everybody has a different purpose. Ryu has the same purpose. He's the one character that has the same purpose, and that is to get better and also to master the Hado.
Right. But if they change his purpose, that would be jarring. So I think it still works for Ryu.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Now, this is the funny part. That works. That's a solid story.
Right.
And this is the reason why, if you realize, they didn't do a Tekken 2 animated movie. Because that first animated movie was horribly all over the place.
Right. Story-wise,
no sense.
Forget about it.
No sense. And trust me, I loved it. I loved it just because I'm just a fan of it.
Right. And we did enjoy it. Well, we never watched it together, but we both saw the movie.
Yeah, we saw the movie. Like, but that's the point. Like, it's just the fact that we're fans, and we loved it. But storytelling wise, as a whole, y'all need to keep it to a point where everybody gets to enjoy this.
Yeah. Everybody.
And like, because I sat here and I thought about it. I thought about it. Fang Wei in Tekken 5 My dude gets the power of a dragon. A dragon. Because he read the scroll. The forbidden scroll. He gains the power of a dragon. What dragon-like power does he have in the rest of the games?
No dragons, no.
None. The little girl. The little girl that's with Jax. How much involvement does she have anymore?
Oh, she builds the new Jax.
I know she builds new Jax, but like specifically that one Jack.
Oh, that Jack just is kind of soulless now. Like they don't really have the Jack doesn't really have personalities.
Yeah, but he actually had one in 2.
He had one in 2 because that Jack, I think Jack 2 wasn't like the one that he's the one that saved the girl.
Right.
Like Jack 2's the one that saved the girl.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. Like what's her purpose now aside from building new Jacks? Like why would she build Jacks with no personalities? I mean,
and then what's it gonna be? We're gonna go back to Julia Chan.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going back to Julia Chan. Julia Chan is about saving nature. She's about saving nature. Mm. But and now all of a sudden she's this internet vlogger type person that's like, oh yeah, 1,000 tweets and all that stuff, and it's just like,
that wasn't the direction she should have gone.
She shouldn't have gone there. She should have went a completely different.
Especially if she's getting older. Especially if she's. I mean, this is a sequel.
Yeah.
So she's getting older. Why would she kind of devolve in her purpose? Like in 6, she got this thing that would help her save the rainforest.
Yeah.
And now she's vlogging. Granted, I don't know what her story is in Tekken 7. I don't play Julia, so I never really went to her arcade. And maybe I should have. Maybe I should have saw this.
I'll be honest with you. Even if you do play it, the point being is what happened. Why is all of a sudden now she's this tweeting type person that's like all social media, and that's the thing I see with games nowadays. Like they're trying to be like, oh we're trying to hop on the social media bandwagon, and we're trying to get everybody introduced and hit into it. Bruh, stop. Let it die. Let it die. Goodness gracious, stories all over the place.
Yeah. Okay, so we went on a long time about the story, rightfully so, because it's a fucking mess. But I have one more question I want to ask you. You might have to rack your brain a little bit before we wrap up. Going back again to the roster, what characters that they took out would you want put back in?
That they took out?
That they took out.
Not the ones that they added back.
Not the ones they added back in already. I know there might not be that many since, you have pretty much your entire roster.
I do want to see... I got a couple. I do want to see Ogre and True Ogre.
Okay.
I do want to see them come back. I want to see their involvement because, as you said, they're looking for the best fighters. The strongest fighters.
Yeah, the strongest fighters.
Is this not the time to do this?
All right, the fighters are only getting more crazy.
Is Akuma not inside this joint? What is one of Akuma's favorite lines? I'm looking for the strongest fighter.
Right, it's almost they should be
True Ogre.
They were the bosses in Street Fighter X Tekken was Ancient Ogre and Akuma.
Yeah, so
they kind of have an eternal clash, and they are missing that opportunity.
Bam! So there you got that. You got that. Also, I would like to see Beck. I like to see Beck.
Oh yeah, okay.
I love to see Beck come back, because his wisdom is his involvement with Howie is always so good, because he's like the eternal teacher that's constantly teaching, and it's just so awesome to sit there and see that. Freaking bring back Bruce. I don't care. I know he's getting older. Bring him back.
Yeah, I think what they thought was, oh, Josie will scratch that Bruce itch, but she doesn't really.
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't really, because people complained that Bruce had no personality, and he kind of didn't. I mean, he kind of didn't. And that goes back to the story. Like, y'all could have written him anyway.
So much more better.
Y'all decided not to write him.
So much more.
But she has one personality quirk, and that's when she's nervous, she cries. Yeah. That's just fucking annoying. She's annoying.
So, okay.
And she's annoying to fight, but so is Bruce.
But that's the thing, though. But Bruce still looks better.
He's cool. Better. Bruce is cool.
He's cool.
He's a cool.
He has freaking sideburns. Got the freaking mohawk thing with braids. It's so beautiful, dreadlocks. Take out.
Take out? Oh, we're taking characters out now.
Take out the female Raven.
Oh, Raven?
Raven. Take out the female Raven.
Just put normal Raven back in?
Pit normal Raven back in and pit him at master level.
Got you.
That makes so much more sense.
That bothers me.
Because he's been doing this, and she just pops in, hi!
It's like, I'm the master.
I'm the master. And it's like, no, freak you. We don't know you. Bring back Raven.
That could have worked. And this is what they definitely should have done if they're going to introduce, like, Raven's master. She should have been older. She should have been older. Like, why is she a young woman if she's Raven's master? And that would have been awesome because she would have been a first. She would have been the first black black female older woman.
Yep.
Maybe there's one out there that I just don't know. But as far as I know, there's no older woman fighter that's black.
Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
is there even an older woman character?
Yeah, there is. I forgot.
There's got to be. There's got to be.
I forgot the name. There's an older woman character, but I forgot the name. I know the game, but I forgot the name. And at the same exact time, make her, if you're gonna do that, make her moves completely different.
Right.
If not, there are small similar traits, but make her moves completely different. She's a master.
Right.
That means that her entire fighting style is completely different.
It should be more efficient, really.
Yeah, more efficient, more clean, more enhanced, more everything. So, you have that.
Or it could just come down to, like, animations, because there's some people who want, like, if you're going to take out Raven and replace him with, his older master, it could be, instead of, like, replacing his moves as a whole, have them just be more, like, tight. And I'll use this example where his unblockable move where he'll teleport in the air.
Yeah.
Instead of him having, like, pull back like it's like a falcon punch, he just pulls all the way back, and maybe she kind of does the same thing, but like she's going for just like a straight punch, like she's like more balled up, and she just charges up her
like
punch.
This, and she's like
kind of just like a ninja punch, like a downward strike almost.
That's
instead of like doing the whole like Captain Falcon punch, she just bam real quick.
So that'd pretty much be my roster.
Okay, nice.
Of who I would like to come back. Particularly.
That makes sense.
I don't really care for too many other people.
I feel that. Obviously, the only two characters that I want back, truly, and I talk about this all the time, so it's not even going to be a surprise. It's Mokujin. I want Mokujin back.
Mokujin.
Come on, give me my boy back. Give me my boy Mokujin back. And Roger. I want Roger Jr. back.
Roger!
Give me Roger. Or give me Alex. I don't care.
Roger, no. God, I hated that kangaroo.
And I liked him because, he had like the boxing style, but he's also a grappler. And that's cool. He had all kinds of grappling.
He was a combination between King and Steve, right?
Kind of. Not like Steve, not like Flowy.
Not like Flowy, but he
was like a puncher.
He had some boxing. He was
pretty cool. Those would be the only ones. Now, one last question. I know that was the last one.
No, that's cool.
One last question that I thought of earlier, and we never really got around to it. And it's kind of a combination of both roster and the story topics we hit. And it's just like a question of preference for you. I'll name off all these characters, and I want you to tell me which one you liked better as the final boss of the series. And I'll rattle them all off real quick. Tekken 1, Devil Kazuya. Oh no, I'm sorry. Tekken 1, Heihachi. Mm-hmm. Right, Tekken 1, Heihachi. Mm-hmm. Tekken 2 is Devil. Mm-hmm. Or if you're playing as Devil, Angel. Mm-hmm. But Devil. Tekken 3, True Ogre. Mm-hmm. Tekken 4 was Heihachi again. Mm-hmm. Tekken 5, Jinpachi. Tekken 6, Azazel. Tekken 7, Devil Kazumi. Out of those... Oh, and Tekken Tag, I'm sorry. Tekken Tag 2 and 1, unknown.
I will say... Ancient Ogre and True Ogre.
Ancient Ogre and True Ogre for 3?
Yeah, for 3, because they were a challenge, but it wasn't broke.
Okay.
Like, whereas, like, Jinpachi, he was broke. Because the thing he did, just fade on to the back, boom, boom, and it took literally 75% of your life away.
If the computer wanted you dead, it would kill you.
It would have. And then you had Azazel, who was also broke.
Yeah, I didn't have any fun fighting Azazel.
He was annoying. I actually faced him recently, and I was like, he is so broke. and it's mainly because like once he gets beat up, he does a little fading thing, and then like this side 1 second frame, he breaks out of that, and then he just like stomps on you, and then he has armor the entire time.
Yeah, you have to hit him with like counter hits. Like they have to hit him while he's doing stuff.
Yeah.
Or actually, sometimes it's random to me. Sometimes I feel like that's not the case.
It's random. It's all over the place for him, man. Such an annoyance.
That's both interesting and unsurprising.
Oh shoot! I'm glad it's unsurprising because I surely was thinking about like ancient ogre and true ogre like as like being like a good boss because like I said they're hard but they're not impossible. Even on the hardest level, which is funny. They're hard but not impossible.
And I think that's the balance final bosses have to hit. Hard but not impossible.
Yeah.
Hard but not frustrating.
Not king of fighters.
King of fighters. Some games don't hit that right.
It's so good. That's a game that never hit it right, yo. I'm surprised because like one of the hardest King of Fighters, I think most people said was like 98.
98.
I think it was like 96. No, it was like 98.
98, I think.
And they said that Regal in there was the hardest boss to beat on hard load.
Jesus.
Period. Surprisingly, and I'm not saying this to gloat.
Okay.
I did beat him. Did it take me forever? Yes. I'm never going to say and BS you. I stayed up all night.
No.
I mean, literally from 10 to 5. All night beating that dude. I have to pause the game, go get something to eat during 4 o'clock in the morning, and go back up and just try to beat this dude.
God damn.
That's how dedicated I was.
Well, back then, the final bosses were ridiculous.
Oh, God. Y'all don't know the struggle!
Well, I don't know if that's how 98 was, but a lot of those old bosses were meant for, like, the arcades.
Yeah.
So they made them super, super, super duper hard. So you would keep funneling quarters in there, and make them more money. And then if you beat them, you got the bragging rights. So it's kind of a win-win.
You did. Bragging rights meant so much more back then.
Back then, yeah.
That doesn't mean nothing now, but it means so much more back then.
Because it wasn't a business back then. Now it's a business.
Yeah. It's straight. It was bragging rights, and because I even remember just the fact of like going to like different places and like go toe to toe with somebody. Mm-hmm. They talking trash. We were Delawareans, and like we saying we face cats in Philly, New York, Maryland. What's the other one that's in Washington? Maryland, Washington, certain parts of Washington. We had somebody come from West Virginia.
Damn.
Which was funny.
Right.
We wasn't going there. They came here.
They really wanted that competition.
They really wanted that. They wanted that L. They took that L very, very like a champ.
Nice.
So, got my respect. I forgot his name.
All right. Well, that's interesting. Ancient ogre, true ogre.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay. Well, that was my last question for you.
Cool,
if you have any other questions or concerns, now is the time. If not,
there's no concerns. There is no need for concerns. That sounds horrible. No, but you know what? Because like I said, you don't get to ask these questions yourself. So I'm gonna throw that question back at you. What about you? So far as Tekken bosses, like towards the end.
Tekken bosses. I really enjoyed fighting Jinpachi. Jinpachi is my favorite, and it might come down to I liked his place in the story. I liked who he was. He was Heihachi's father. Because it would be a lie if I wasn't like, I wonder who like trained Heihachi. Where's Heihachi getting his power from? And then it was, here we go. Jinpachi.
This is the dad.
He's got a big mouth. He's got a big mouth on his. And it was weird. I liked his design a lot. He had like the purple and he had like the mouth on him and he looked super cool. And it was weird in was it Dark Resurrection or something like that? Mm-hmm. He was like a fire demon. He like was fire.
Yeah.
At least the one I had was a PSP. Yeah. He looked pretty cool there. But I'll have to say Jinpachi. Because Tekken 5 is one of my favorite Tekkens. I can agree to that. I can agree with you on that one. And it felt good to just beat Jinpachi. Because Tekken 4 had Heihachi, right? And he had his fundoshi on, so he was nearly naked. And I like True Ogre, don't get me wrong. I like True Ogre and I like Ancient Ogre. I thought they were really cool. Right. And I like Devil. Devil was cool, and I never, like I said, I never really played Tekken 1, and I didn't like Azazel from Tekken 6, and I don't really like Kazumi from Tekken 7.
Yeah.
So it's almost by process of elimination.
But you know what? That's, to me, I ain't gonna lie to you, that's actually quite shocking here.
Really? Who were you expecting?
I was so expecting freaking True Ogre.
True Ogre?
I was so expecting.
I like to play as True Ogre, don't get me wrong.
I was so expecting that. I was not expecting Jinpachi at all.
No. Well, I like playing as True Ogre, don't get me wrong. I think, because I used True Ogre in Tekken Tech too.
Right.
And I really enjoyed True Ogre, and I think he's a really cool character. But
that headbutt thing is dangerous.
As far as design and purpose go, I like Jinpachi. And I've always liked the story of games. That's why I'm really excited nowadays that a lot of fighting games are adding story modes.
Yeah.
Because you can flesh these characters out more. But yeah, it's Jinpachi. Like if it was, do you like True Ogre more or like Jinpachi more? Oh, I like Jinpachi more. He's actually part of the story.
Okay. All right.
That's that.
Well, there's his answers, ladies and gents.
All right, and that concludes this episode.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me.
Yes, the nightmare. Pecan Swirl.
Pecan Swirl. And I am, as per usual, Mick Whoopi Goldberg. And this has been the Bottom of the Pit podcast, where we look to the moon and swap our palettes. We will see you guys on the next one.